If you are here, it is likely not by chance. Perhaps you have arrived at a place familiar to so many of us, the end of your own strength. What if I told you that this breaking point, that moment when you look up at the sky or into the void of your room in the middle of the night and whisper, "I can't take it anymore," is not your end? What if that exact point of exhaustion, where hope feels like a foreign language, is in fact the sacred place, the portal where divine help can finally find you? I know you're trying. Oh, how you have been trying to fix, trying to control, trying to predict, trying to hold all the pieces of your life together with both hands so they don't fall apart. You have been strong for so long, wearing the armor of resilience day after day. But the strength the world taught you to have, that strength of gritting your teeth and pushing forward, now feels like a heavy chain, sinking you even deeper into the swamp of despair. You've hit that invisible wall, the darkest hour of your life, where all your maps no longer make sense and every door you try to open seems locked from the inside. It is precisely for you, who recognize yourself in this place of silence and wait, that this message is intended. For there is a secret power that our noisy, success-obsessed world has forgotten. A power that only reveals itself in weakness. A strength that comes not from effort, but from release. Today, we will unveil this ancient secret together, the power of surrender. We will discover how exactly in your darkest moment you can open the doors to a help that is far greater, wiser, and more loving than you ever imagined. This is not an empty philosophy. It is an invitation to a real transformation, an alchemy of the soul. Stay with me, and let's learn to let go so that we may finally receive. From an early age, we learn a fundamental lesson about life, whispered in our schools, our homes, and our culture. To win, you must be in control. Control your emotions, plan your career, manage your future. We believe that control is a shield, an armor that protects us from the unpredictable chaos of the world. And for a time, this strategy seems to work. We plan, we set goals, we build a life based on order and predictability, feeling a false comfort in our ability to dictate the terms. But this order comes at a very high price. Control, which once seemed like a safe harbor, slowly reveals itself for what it truly is, a prison. This cage is made of our own expectations, our shoulds and have-tos. Inside it we are safe, but we are not truly alive. We are merely managing our existence. And life, the universe, this creative, wild and intelligent force doesn't care for cages, no matter how golden they are. It doesn't follow our plans. It dances to its own rhythm, a rhythm that can only be felt, never forced. We all have a secret script we've written for our lives. The career we should have by 30, the relationship that should last forever, the timeline of success that should be met without deviation. And we spend most of our vital energy trying to force the universe to read and enact our script. The pain you feel now, in this difficult phase, comes not so much from the events themselves, the breakup, the layoff, the illness. The sharpest pain comes from the violent friction between your script and the much larger, more mysterious and ultimately more perfect script that life is trying to write for you. It's like a gardener trying to force a rose to bloom in the middle of winter. They can use all their strength, all their technique, but they are fighting against a higher law, a seasonal wisdom. The suffering comes not from the winter, but from the refusal to accept that it is winter's time. This need to hold the reins so tightly comes from fear, a deep primal fear, fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear that if we let go, everything will collapse into absolute chaos, and we will discover that we are nothing without our ability to manage. So, we hold on tighter. And the cost of this manifests in our bodies, the tense shoulders, the clenched jaw, the shallow breath, the anxiety constantly humming beneath the skin. This is the paradox of control. In our desperate attempt to avoid suffering, we create the deepest form of suffering that exists, resistance to life as it is. The exhaustion you feel isn't because life is too heavy, it's because you're trying to carry it all by yourself. But what if the solution isn't to hold on tighter? What if true strength, the secret power we are seeking, is born in the exact moment you finally dare to open your hands and let the wild horse of life carry you? When control fails, when all our efforts prove useless and the tower we've built begins to crumble, an overwhelming feeling takes over, hopelessness. It's a dark, silent, and desolate place. It feels like the end of everything. But in the wisdom of the universe, in the language of the soul, hopelessness is not the end. It is an initiation ceremony. It is the raw material for the most powerful alchemy that exists. It is crucial here to make a distinction. There is a difference between giving up and surrendering. Giving up is an act of the ego. It is declaring defeat, a collapse into bitterness and resentment. It's saying, the game is rigged, I'm not playing anymore. Surrender, however, is an act of the soul. It is a movement of profound wisdom and trust. It is looking to a higher power and saying, I can't do this alone. I trust you. Show me the way. Giving up closes a door. Surrender opens a portal. What you call losing hope is, in fact, your stubborn mind's surrender to the truth that your plans were not the grander plan for you. And that is a good thing. Painful, yes, but fundamentally good. Because now, something much smarter, vaster, and more loving can take over. Often, hopelessness follows in the wake of what I call a divine interruption, that relationship that suddenly ended, leaving you in pieces, that stable job that was lost, throwing you into the unknown, that lifelong dream that dissolved into dust. We see these interruptions as failures, as tragic mistakes on our path, but they are not. They are sacred course corrections. The universe, in its infinite compassion for your evolution, sometimes needs to break your heart to open it. It needs to dismantle the life we built for ourselves to give us the life that was waiting for us. Do you feel broken? Good, because it is through the cracks that the light can finally enter. The Japanese art of kintsugi teaches us this. When a piece of pottery breaks, it is not thrown away. Its cracks are filled with liquid gold. The piece is not just repaired, it becomes more beautiful and valuable because it was broken. Its golden scars tell a story of resilience and transformation. And that is why there is a sentence I want you to hold in the depths of your soul, especially now. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. Repeat that to yourself. The pain, the confusion, the hopelessness, they are not a punishment for something you did wrong. They are the universe moving you, repositioning you on the great chessboard of life to a place where you can receive your greatest blessing. Your brokenness is not a flaw in your design. It's a feature. It's your soul's safety mechanism, ensuring you never stray too far from your true purpose. Hopelessness is the call back home, and now we will learn how to answer that call in a practical way. So how do we do this in practice? How do we practice this thing called surrender, especially when every fiber of our being, conditioned by a lifetime of struggle, wants to fight, to fix, to control? Surrender is not passivity. It's not sitting back and doing nothing while life happens to you. It is an act of supreme courage. It is an active and conscious spiritual practice. And here is your manual with 4 essential steps. The first step is to change the question. For your entire life, when pain struck, the question that echoed in your mind was, why is this happening to me? It's a question born of fear that casts you in the role of a victim of fate. Surrender begins when you consciously dare to replace that question with a much more powerful and expansive one. What is the universe trying to show me with this? Or, for what greater good is this situation preparing me? This simple change of words is a revolution. It pulls you out of the center of the drama and places you in the position of a curious student of life. It transforms your suffering from a meaningless burden into a valuable lesson. You stop fighting against the situation and start looking for the hidden wisdom within it. The second step is the radical practice of presence. Most of our suffering comes not from the present moment, but from our panic about a future we cannot control or our regret about a past we cannot change. To surrender is to bring your awareness back, gently, to the only place where life happens, the now. It is to feel what needs to be felt without resistance. If sadness comes, instead of distracting yourself or fighting it, just say, here is sadness. I feel it in my chest. It's okay. If fear comes, acknowledge it. I feel the fear. It is here. I will breathe with it. Imagine your emotions are like the weather. You don't fight the rain, you allow it to fall, knowing it will pass. Do the same with your feelings. By stopping the fight, you stop feeding the pain with your resistance. And what you discover is that no emotion lasts forever. It comes, delivers its message, and, if you allow it, it flows through you and leaves. The third step is the whisper of trust. This is the heart of surrender. It is the conscious act of handing over your problem to a higher intelligence. You can do this through a formal prayer, a silent meditation, or simply a whisper to the wind. Close your eyes. Visualize your problem, your worry, your fear, your confusion as an object in your hands. Perhaps it's a heavy stone. Feel its weight. Feel the tension in your shoulders from carrying it. And then, with a deep, audible exhale, open your hands and release it. Let it fall. Use words that resonate with you. Universe, divine source, God, I give this to you. I have done all I can. The solution is now in your hands. I don't know the way, but I trust that you do. I release. I trust. Doing this once can bring relief. Making it a daily practice can change your life. You are actively transferring the burden from your shoulders to the shoulders of something infinitely more capable of carrying it. And the fourth and final step is to learn to recognize the unseen hand. After you release, your job is to watch with new eyes. The universe communicates in whispers, not shouts. It responds through synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that give you goosebumps. The song that plays on the radio with the answer you needed. The friend who calls out of the blue with a word of comfort. The book that falls from the shelf open to the right page. A sentence you overhear from a stranger on the street. These are not accidents. They are winks from the divine. They are confirmation that your surrender was heard and accepted. The more you practice surrender, the more you tune your perception to this secret language, this invisible choreography that is always happening around you. You start to realize that you were never alone. The help was always there, just waiting for you to stop trying to do everything yourself so it could manifest. And so, the journey comes full circle, from the sick grip of control to the expansive freedom of release, from the darkness of hopelessness to the golden light of trust. The secret power of surrender is this. It doesn't necessarily change the circumstances overnight. It changes you. And when you change on the inside, your outer world has no choice but to reflect that new reality. Always remember, when your soul, tired and on its knees, finally whispers with complete honesty, "I have nothing left. I don't know what to do anymore," the universe, with the loving smile of a proud parent, replies, "Excellent, now I can begin." Your surrender is not a tomb for your dreams, it is a womb. In the silence, in the darkness, and in the warmth of your surrender, something new is being gestated. A new strength, a new clarity, a new version of you that could not possibly have been born through effort and struggle. Divine help does not need your strength. It needs your opening. It does not need your plan. It needs your space. And your darkest hour is what creates that sacred space. The door to the miracle is not your perfection. It is your raw, honest vulnerability. So, here and now, take a deep breath. Release the shoulders that carry the weight of the world. Open the hands that cling so tightly to control. Know, in every cell of your being, that you are loved, that you are guided, and that you are exactly where you need to be. Surrender is not giving up on life. It is finally, for the first time, allowing the fullness of life to live through you. And the final, sweetest promise of all is this: the universe does not deliver what your anxious mind wanted. It delivers what your soul has always secretly needed to become whole.